Mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. I gotta put on my struggle beads tonight. I said everything is gonna be all right. I gotta put on my struggle beads tonight. Make sure that they fit so we can make a hit. Yo, you know when we get in this thing, yo, it's the shh. Are you ready? I know that I am. We gonna get this thing going tonight. There's no scams. We are talking about, talking about, talking about, talking about, talking about, talk. Yo, we talking about? We talking about cults. We talking about idol worship cults. We talking about idol worship cults. Talk about idol worship. Are you ready, baby? Are you ready, baby? Idol worship. What? Idol worship. You bigger than me, but we gonna get it together tonight and we'll see. Yo, everything is gonna be all right, and I can guarantee you that tonight. Everything is gonna go just cool. We won't cut the fool. Yeah, when we start rocking, everything gonna be on time. Stop, no. Yeah, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Get the week put on the list. I'm ready for whatever, baby. I'm ready. Yo, get it poppin' on. Yeah, yo, what up, y'all? Yeah, hump day, Wednesday. Allergies in full display. T Caddy, right, what's going on? Emily Dunlap, yo, it's on. Yeah, what? Yo, yeah. Start breaking it, just like a blue pill, start taking it. Yo, are you ready for the Freddie and Jason? Saw your mom in the alleyway basing, but that was around like 86. I know right now she got a new tick. Should I say she spit new rhymes? Yeah, new rhyme. Yeah, we gonna keep it popping. Right now, later on, yo, the album dropping. Got about 12 tracks. Broke about 12 backs. And I'm so glad to be here. Hope that the microphone coming loud and clear. If it's not, please give me a ring and let me know that I'm not doing my thing. But yo, some way and somehow we're going to get it going down. I'm like, how, wow. Yeah. Yo. Let me get some cult music, y'all. Let me get some. Let me get some cult music, some cult tunes. I'm about to start breaking down, get a little spiritual. Say it with me. Well. Are you ready? Come on, y'all. Well. Yo, breaking it down, baby. I'm glad you're coming around, maybe. We can get this thing popping just a little more and make sure that we all sure Ritz are all birds in the place. It's always a good time to see your face. And space has to be taken up. Are you ready for this ride? You say yes. Well, 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 well. Well, 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 well. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, ready, y'all. I keep it steady. Who getting involved? We gonna do this thing. Puzzle pieces we gonna solve. Yeah. The love is coming on through, and every time I'm thinking about the love, I'm thinking of you. Yeah, and we down like a sub. Yo, but we gon' rise above the fray. Anybody try to say that we ain't like that, yo, they go their own way. And that just means that you're probably jelly in somebody need to shoot you, leave it smelly, but not trying to promote no violence. And I'm trying to make a little noise, no silence, but everybody can't understand it, so they can't come. Sit back and look dumb, but we the number one, yeah, no other numbers, yo. Don't sleep on this. Try not to slumber, cause when it's time for the train to take off, we gon' lift off, yo. It's never sorry. Come hard, baby. Come hard, baby. Yeah, kinda greasy like the Lord, baby. You know the Lord used to make the real good fried chicken. Yeah, the shit that was finger licking. Yeah. Start breaking it down. Yo, stay around. Start breaking it down with. Stay around. I said, yeah. Are you ready for this? We talk about the cold tonight. Are you on a list? Have you ever been in anything involved like that? I hope not. But where's that? Some people believe strong. I can't look them in the face and tell them wrong. Yo, because you see it and you feel it. It goes for you. Yeah, I guess it appeals. Getting your feels. Yo, like big bells. What up, y'all? Troy Diesel in the place. Yo, yeah, I see your face. Call Chudders. Nah, no food on my dope. No. What I say? Whoa, yeah. Well. If I summon the Lord, would you believe that if plugged in like a cord? I know it sounds kind of strange, but we gonna get it poppin', man. We gonna see what happens. Later on, we gonna get it snapping. Snap it just like some beans. Get it poppy by any and all means. Let me get back to the original drum and get the drummer some. I said, and we are here. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily. It's a daily go-getter medicine show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it wins? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, thinking all fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about cults and idol worshiping tonight. What do y'all know about being in the cult? About idol worship? What do you know? Some of y'all might be closer to it than you think you are, and some of y'all may be way farther from it than you may have thought that you have been. So we're gonna see, we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna actually have some fun with it. So don't get all, I saw when my people's ask if this is on some voodoo type vibe. No, but we're gonna get into some pockets of conversation, some flows of communication that might make you scratch your head a little bit like, For example, could being a member of your sports team be like a cult? Could being a member of your sports team be, or a fan of your sports team be like a cult? In other words, those Dallas Cowboy fans, are y'all a cult? Are you a cult? Do y'all have a charismatic leader? Jerry Jones. Answer me. America's team. Are they real? Yo, how you feel? Yo, get the drums out the. Know what I'm saying now? Celtic frame of mind, baby. Series 2 to 3, maybe. New England Patriots. 49ers hate that shit. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. I'm ready. Okay, what y'all say? I'm ready. I'm ready to get into this conversation. I'm ready to have a little bit of fun. We'll have some fun now. Just me and all the gang, learning from each other while we do our thing. Nah, gonna have a good time. Hey. Cults and idol worship. What do y'all know? Hold on. Let me get some administrative things here. Some things coming across my monitors that are past tense. We got to bring them up to date. We got to get them up to speed. Please, y'all, do me one little favor as y'all sashay y'all way up in here. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button as you do-si-do. Just hit that like button. Just. Yeah, just hit the like button. Just hit the like button. That's all I'm going to ask y'all to do. So what do you think? Cult-like behavior and idol worship. Cult-like behavior. I had to say cult-like behavior because I don't think too many people would cop out to being in a cult. I don't think that anybody who is actually in a cult feels like, or looks at themselves like they're really in a cult. And we probably should get down establish a good definition of what a cult is. So I did my due diligence and I looked up what a cult is. And I think I want to share it with you. All right, so check out this definition of what a cult is. A cult is generally defined as a group or sect that exhibits excessive devotion to a person, object, or belief system, often characterized by a charismatic leader and a focus on unique or unorthodox beliefs. Cults often isolate members from mainstream society, employ manipulative psychological techniques, and may involve extreme practices or beliefs. Now, when you read a definition like that, does anything come to your mind? I'm going to read it again. A cult is generally defined as a group or a sect that exhibits excessive devotion to a person, object, or belief system, often characterized by a charismatic leader and a focus on unique or unorthodox beliefs. Cults often isolate members from mainstream society, employ manipulative psychological techniques, and may involve extreme practices or beliefs. Does that sound like anyone that you know? Does that sound like any organization that you are aware of? Any group that you are aware of? Any political party that you are aware of? Any governmental system that you are aware of? Any church that you are aware of? Any family that you are aware of? A gang, a club, a social experiment? Does that sound like something that's familiar to you? Because it sounds familiar to me. I'm going to tell you like that right now, homie. It sounds very familiar to me. So we're going to get into this thing. Charismatic leader. Could the Cowboys be considered a cult? And listen, for all y'all D4, what is it? D4L, Dallas Cowboys for life. We them boys. If y'all offended by anything I'm saying, please allow me to offend farther, much farther. I want to go I want to push the envelope, because I don't rock with y'all. I'm a Philadelphia Eagle and also a Lombardi trophy wielding champion. You see, not only am I wielding the championship, I'm wearing the Super Bowl 59 gear. You know who won Super Bowl 59, right? I mean, just in case you need to get reminded. Just in case you need to get reminded. What up, Gavin? What's good? What up, man? Thanks everybody for coming through. Thanks everybody for coming through. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all mucho. Dimples D's is in the crib. I'm good to see you. Good to see you without a doubt. So yeah. Could the Cowboys? I've never, to be honest with you, I've never seen any sports organization with as loyal of a fan base as the Dallas Cowboys. I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like it. And that's whether they're winning or they're losing. Now, last season they were losing, and every time that they're losing, they got a whole boatload of excuses or whatever. Now, by definition, if the Cowboys, if being a fan of the Cowboys, D4L and all of that, we them boys, if that was a cult, who would be their charismatic leader? Would it be their quarterback, Dak Prescott? Now, a quarterback is temporary, but he's been there 10 years. It is what it is. He's been there 10 years. Or would it be the owner of the team, Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones, who wants to be the coach, the general manager, the owner. Shoot. If I didn't know better, I'd be thinking, I would think that he was ready to, throw on a pair of shoulder pads and, lace up some cleats. Like, where you going, old man? Talking about something, he can still do this. Pipe down. This ain't back in Jim Crow when you was when you was participating and making sure black kids didn't get to school, when you was terrorizing little black girls on their way to school in Little Rock. This ain't that. This ain't that. You calm down. You made a good life for yourself. Racism will take you far. White supremacy will. But anyway, yeah, you know. And you know, one characteristic about a cult is, like I said, they kick people out. They kicked people out. You know, like, yo, you don't follow our rules, or you don't believe at the level that we require you to believe. We'll boot you up out of here. You gots to go. Well, I haven't seen any Cowboys fans get excommunicated or extricated or removed or, you know, escorted on up out of there. You know, you could be, when they say D4L, they mean D4L. I don't know why you want to be part of that bitch ass organization, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We're talking about cult-like behavior. So I mean, I can't say that they don't display cult-like behavior. They may not be a full-blooded cult, but they might display some cult-like behavior for sure. I think they exhibit some cult-like behavior. You know, the Cowboys have made a lot of strides and innovations as far as free agency and things like that. Jerry Jones was a shrewd businessman, is a shrewd businessman, and he was able to manipulate ways to stack their team and win Super Bowls for him. You know, before free agency was really popping and doing what it needed to do. L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology. You know, I was thinking, first of all, L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology is a good one. And I have heard it called a cult. But L. Ron Hubbard has been dead so long. Let's see. When did L. Ron Hubbard, when did he pass? L. Ron Hubbard. He died in 86. Born March 13th. Yo, Troy, he was born March 13th, 1911. What you know? You put 1886. Slow down. That motherfucker died after he died before he was born. He passed in 1986. So he's been dead. He's been dead 39 years now. 39 years. And he was from California. Ain't that some shit? L. Ron Hubbard. What do Scientologists believe? Scientologists believe that individuals are immortal Thetans, spiritual beings trapped in physical bodies, and that they have experienced countless past lives, including some on other planets. They believe that traumatic experiences create engrams that can be removed through a process called auditing, allowing individuals to reclaim their true selves and unlock inherent abilities. Scientology also incorporates concepts of reincarnation, extraterrestrial history, and a potential to achieve a state of operating Thetan, a godlike state. Well, if y'all didn't know, the Nation of Islam practices Scientology now. They're part of the Church of Scientology. The Nation of Islam, yeah, you know, Louis Farrakhan and them, the Fruit of Islam, the Muslim girls I'm teaching. I will not step foot inside of another mosque. That did it. that did it for me. Oakland, my man, I Heart Oakland was good. Was good. Buana Haguski, what's good? He says Ron was the king of hustling. You know, they got a street named after him up there in California, up there in Hollywood. L. Ron Hubbard Way. Now, when I saw it, it was a little small street. I don't know if they've expanded it, you know, giving them a little bit more real estate. I can't speak on it, but I remember seeing it. L. Ron Hubbard Way. That's California for you, though. That's California for your ass. But yeah, Scientology is a good one. We know that the People's, what was the People's Temple, where Jim Jones took all of those people down there in Guyana and birthed the phrase, y'all drunk the Kool-Aid. When you hear somebody say, yo, he is really, or she has really drank the Kool-Aid, they talking about the Jim Jones tragedy down in Guyana, where he forced all of his members, 900 plus people to drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid, I mean, what a slap in the face. What a fucking, of all drinks. Yeah, of all drinks that he could have given them to commit Harry Carey, he made them drink Kool-Aid. I guess they stretched it with the sugar. Stretched it with the sugar. And they were very unorthodox. They had a charismatic leader. I guess you could call him charismatic because Jim Jones was pretty transparent to other people, but to the People's Temple, he was God to them, all drugged up, sex parties. He definitely displayed some Diddy-like behavior, but all behind closed doors. Because, you know, he was a theologian. He's a clergyman. You know what I mean? You can't be outright having sex with men and women. Yeah, he had a little sugar in his tank. Jim Jones had a little, he had a little, yeah. What? Let's see. Y'all know what it's about to be.
You have a call from.
Yeah. What's going on?
You know damn well I ain't gonna let you have all this fun on this damn live stream, bro.
Well, you know, I mean, everybody have a little fun. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. That's what they say. Hold on. Gavin says, how was Jim Jones racist?
Because I said, because he made Kool-Aid, and that's our drink.
That's like, I mean, the cultural implications. Now, you could argue and say, back in the 70s, you know, everybody drank Kool-Aid, so it wasn't a black thing. I'm not trying to hear that shit. It was a poor people's drink. Sugar water.
Our drink, man. When you looked at Good Times, Jay-Z made the Kool-Aid. Come on, man. What's happening? Kool-Aid on what's happening.
And when you see the majority of the people who died drinking that cyanide-laced Kool-Aid, you tell me who was the racist and who wasn't. Either he was racist or that motherfucker was king of the niggas. You pick him.
Yeah, he could have made he could have made cyanide-laced fried chicken. He would have killed half of the population over there.
Yeah, this shit is crazy, dog. Cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. Y'all ain't had no orange juice. You know what I mean? Kool-Aid. There should have been no Kool-Aid sold in America after that shit. They should have had to all switch over to Weilers. But anyway.
Wow.
You know, Wallace was nasty as shit. That was the super cheap Kool. When you ain't, if you ain't even have Kool-Aid money, just hang it up, man. Just drink water.
I mean, you can always get the weak juice, the juicy juice.
Well, Weiler's was the Kool-Aid that wasn't as good as Kool-Aid. So even though it was the powder, like you had to put like where you only might have had to put in 1 pack of Kool-Aid, you had to use like 2 or 3 of Weiler's in order to get it up to the quality of the Kool-Aid. So yeah, if your mom and your dad had a job, Kool-Aid was on the menu. Tang was on the menu. Yoo-hoo, you know what I mean? Shit like that. You know what I mean? Nestle Quick, the chocolate and the strawberry. But if you were straight getting them book of food stamps, yeah, you gonna see some Wilders.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You gonna get a name brand.
You would get the Wilders.
You gonna get a name brand.
You know, it is what it is.
You just get, you go to the store and get juice. And that's what it just says, juice.
Yeah, hold on. Buana says cyanide laced Popeye's chicken with genocide Black America. I hate to say it would, but the thing is, they would catch on. They'd be like, "This shit nasty as shit." Hold up.
You see what happened when they came out with the Popeye chicken sandwich?
Yo.
People dying over that shit. Over the chicken sandwiches.
Yo, that was crazy as shit. The chicken sandwiches. Wait a minute, hold on. What? It was the chicken. It was Popeyes versus
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, right? Yeah. And they say the Popeyes won.
Came out with the chicken sandwich. People was fighting in line. Some people died from that.
Yo, I saw a lot of rumbles online over that. But they say the Popeyes chicken sandwich was better.
Well, I just had one tonight, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay,
the fucked up part, you know what takes me out? It's Popeye chicken and Coke.
What was that? What was that? In 2021? What year was that?
That was 2021. No, because that was right between the beginning. I mean, the end, almost at the end, towards the pandemic, end of towards the end of COVID.
Yo, Carl Childers says that sandwich was barely okay and people were going crazy. Listen,
they was getting it in on the fighting tip.
I'm going to ride with Carl because I'm gonna say I'll say this. I ain't never tasted a chicken sandwich that I would rumble over. Like, ho, wait a minute. I'm not standing in a long ass line for no chicken sandwich. That's number one. And number two,
he really brought out our blackness, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't just them. It wasn't just us. That's the terrible thing about it. You know what I mean? This shit was crazier than the Pepsi challenge.
He made it look like it was just up, especially on World Star.
Well, yeah.
They was doing, especially on World Star.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's why World Star was going out. Because of that kind of shit. But anyway.
You can't tell your mom, Dad, why you get your ass beat? I wanted to get you the chicken sandwich.
No, you just keep it simple. Say, listen, I went to go get some food. Somebody tried to jump the line and it got, you know what I mean? I had to handle my business. Do not let on that you got knocked out over a chicken sandwich. That is not acceptable.
You got fucked over a chicken sandwich, Pop.
You lost a fight, Dad. You lost a fight over chicken sandwich. That's what we doing? Nah, we not doing that. We not doing that. Slow down. So, all right. So we talking about cult-like behavior. And
well,
idol worship.
You know who's the cult-like behavior right now, bro. You know, MAGA is the number one cult-like behavior right now.
I would say that MAGA definitely has many of the elements that would qualify it under the cult umbrella. I would definitely, absolutely say that. But let's look at why. Okay. Charismatic leader, got that. Set of principles and values, got that. But do they?
No, they don't.
Now, hold on. Now, I think that that's something that has to be looked at, because we know, if you don't know, the MAGA and the Republican Party are not the same things. A lot of people think that they are. But when you look at how MAGA moves, they have no conservative values. None. They don't believe in small government. They don't believe in the rule of law as it pertains to themselves. They don't
believe in accountability.
Well, true conservatives follow the Constitution. That's their Bible. Anything that goes outside of the bounds of the Constitution is unconstitutional and it's unacceptable. MAGA does not follow the Constitution. It's safe to say that everything that they do goes out of the bounds or stretches the bounds of the Constitution. Is pretty, it moves unconstitutionally. So that could be considered out of bounds or unusual behavior, of the unusual set of principles. But do they have any principles clearly lined out? Do they, that's the question, because they seem to accept anything that their charismatic leader will do, but they don't seem to have a set of principles laid out. Like, if you were to ask somebody in MAGA, and I have, okay, what exactly do y'all believe in? What do y'all want exactly? Because without Donald Trump, y'all don't seem to know what y'all want. When he says what y'all want, y'all seem to want it. If he don't say it, y'all don't want it. When he gives y'all something that y'all didn't ask for, all of a sudden y'all want that too. Or y'all will let that go or let it be excused and all of that. Gavin says America first. Okay, so all right, you might be right about that. So they want America first. Okay. Well,
what type of America first?
Well, see, let's when you think about America, you're talking about an integration system. What is America like? Who is from America? Who has anything to do with being an American? Now, you're certainly not talking about Native Americans. They live on reservations. So the way that America was put together was with a bunch of immigrants. So how can you say America first when America itself is an amalgamation of people?
Whoa. Say that word again.
Amalgamation.
Oh, that's a Penn State word.
Oh yeah, I learned it in high school though. But yeah, it's an amalgamation of immigrants. Everybody from the United States is from somewhere else ancestrally. So when you say America first, what are you really talking about? Now I know how it plays out, and Carl Childers says an isolationist state soon. I would say now. When you have gone against your allies, now hold on. This is what I don't want to do. I don't want to make this a political show tonight. You know what I mean? I don't mind talking about MAGA and moving on, because I want to have a little. I want to open up our minds a little bit tonight, and even to have a couple of laughs, a couple of drinks, a couple of smokes, drop some pills, sniff a few lines, shoot something in your arm, whatever you want to do. Proverbially. That's what I want. I don't want to get caught. I want to get stuck on the political side of things, because we do that enough, and sometimes it can be a little emotionally draining, especially especially when the MAGA nuts start coming through and start talking that old crazy shit. And because and I consider it to be crazy shit because it don't make no sense. You know, you're basically voting against your own interests and you don't even see it. But that's unorthodox in and of itself. But I do believe that what Carl Childers just said, we need to stop trying to save the world. Okay, no, I agree with what he said first. And isolation is state soon. America cannot. It wasn't built that way to be an isolationist state. It can't. That can't work. That can't work. You know, but there's so many things that we don't understand politically. Some of us don't understand that. You know.
Well, first of all, the slogan "Make America Great Again" was taken by another person's campaign during their campaign. It was also pretty much a slogan. It was mainly a racist slogan during their campaign that they were using. It wasn't really supposed to be used, and that's where he got it from. You know, so when I think of "Make America Great Again," I'm thinking that he's feeling like "Make America Great" according to white America. And it's sad to say that, but that's how I feel about it. And that's where I feel like at the end of the day, it becomes more of a cult, you know, because when you came up with the slogan, the definition of what a cult is. And anytime he says, I can stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and kill somebody and my people will still vote for me. That's absolutely correct.
Well, the thing is, he said that before he ever got elected. Nobody believed that shit.
I believed him.
I didn't. Who the fuck was he?
I believed him. I believed him.
I didn't.
When we tell you when I believed everything was going to change was when the Access Hollywood thing came out, and that didn't hurt him.
Well, you can't say it came out. You can't say it didn't hurt him. It didn't disqualify him.
Well, that's the main thing.
It normally would. Anybody else would have been disqualified.
I mean, we've seen people running for president get disqualified for some of the minute things, some of the small minute things.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the question that you have to ask about the whole Access Hollywood tape and all that kind of shit. Anybody else, any other candidate would have dropped out of the race. He wouldn't do it. So him showing strength in that regard, I put strength in quotes because I don't think that he's strong at all. But anybody else would have dropped out because they would have said, "Oh no, I can't. Nobody's going to accept this." Blah 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 blah. But with Donald Trump, it was different. But you know, Donald Trump having pull with the American public, you know, with the Apprentice and being a public figure with the, you know, owning the casinos and being a well-known a billionaire at one time and all of that. So yeah, he had a greater incentive to just keep on going. But I at the time, I didn't think that he would win. I mean, but you know, things happen, and things happen for him, and not just they didn't just fall in place. But as far as MAGA is concerned, I would say that they definitely display cult-like behavior. But one thing that they don't do that most cults do, most cults insist on their members or their people or their congregation following a certain set of rules, or they get put out, they get excommunicated. They can't hang out no more. You know, they have to set Shiva.
Let me ask you a question. Can it be called a cult without a leader?
I would imagine so, but by definition, it normally says that.
I want to ask you this one thing. Do you consider the LGBTQ community a cult?
Not at all. Number one, you can be in the LGBTQ community without being active. You can be in the LGBTQ without even acknowledging it. Now, the organization itself, with their chairs, their co-chairs, their officers, and things like that, the people who actually pay dues and lobby and get things done, that's different. But no, I definitely wouldn't say that they were a cult. Now, I don't agree with their way of life or the thing, all that gay shit. I'm not with all that, but I wouldn't call them a cult because of some of the things I just said. Like, they don't require membership in order for you to be a member. That would be like asking, is being black a cult? You got people who are black who say they ain't black. They still part of the black community.
The reason but the thing is that's a gender. Black is a race. So it's two different terminologies. I can understand where you're coming from.
Wait, what's a gender?
Male, female.
Okay, but what does that have to do with the LGBTQ?
Well, that's their new thing.
What's their new thing?
They consider that a gender.
They consider what? I mean, explain what you're talking about. What do they consider to be a gender?
Meaning that if you go in there and you fill out an application, you say male, female. Let's just put theirs under other. That's what they put on there.
Oh, okay.
But they're the other.
But other is not a gender.
Can't tell that when you fill out an application.
No, well, the applications that I've filled out, even recently, it says prefer not to say.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen some that say other.
Okay. Well, I don't know what an other would be, but I do know what a prefer. Like sometimes on some applications, I don't put black or African American. I put
that neither.
I say prefer not to answer. They know that means you black anyway. But with my first and last name, it might put some questions in your head, like, could be. As long as I get a call back, I don't give a shit. Art of Mine 559, how you doing, my dude? Good to see you. And also Elias Blanco, what's good? But yeah, so no, I wouldn't consider. I mean, I don't know who the leader of the LGBTQ is.
Well, that's why I said I don't think there is a leader. I just think that's why I asked you, do you think that can there be a cult without a leader?
Well, it says that the definition says that it normally centers around a charismatic leader. So okay. I don't know who the leaders of the LGBTQ community are, but whoever they are, they get shit done. You know what I mean? They get their way. Listen, I've never seen any community or any club or any organization get what they want as much as they do and still complain that they don't get anything. They are always on to the next thing to get. They are never satisfied. They went from what they partnership. What did they used to call it when they could live as married as a married couple, but they weren't married? Something partnership, something.
A shared partnership, or
it was something that allowed them to legally be able to live.
Common law. Common law partnership.
No, it wasn't common law. There was the. Hold on, I can get it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. Let me see. Before gay marriage, how did gay people legally live with each other? Before gay marriage, same-sex couples have various ways. Same-sex union, something union, civil union. I think it was civil union or some shit like that.
And that's what Gavin said.
So he said civil union. Yeah, yeah. Civil union. First, it went from civil union, and that wasn't good enough. They had lobbied for that, and then they wanted gay marriage. Then they got that, and they had gay marriages in certain states, but they wanted it to be the law of the land, and that's where Obama came in. And people always said he was the first gay president because he gave them what they wanted. People don't realize that if MAGA hasn't shown you anything, all politics is pay to play. So whether it's the NRA paying you or the UAE Emirates and shit, giving Syria, giving Donald Trump a $400 million plane, like anything he do, y'all say, oh no, that's cool. Like, get the fuck out of here. Cool. Imagine if Biden would have accepted a fucking plane from some Arabs. Man, what? He'd have been out of here.
You gotta really dig deep into this shit, right? This motherfucker don't like Muslims, but he found this way to bootlick his ass up in Saudi Arabia, how he was kissing their ass yesterday.
This motherfucker would have been up out of here if it was Biden. Out of here if he was Obama. Out of here if he was Bush. Out of here if he was Clinton. Out of here if he was Reagan. Out of here if he was the other Bush. Out of here if he was Carter. Get the fuck out of here. You going to accept a plane from... I mean, what? Talking about it's for the military. But it's going in your library, motherfucker. Yo, that motherfucker think you are dumb, and he's right. But anyway. Yes, they definitely exhibit cult-like behavior. Carl Childers says, why the hell they want to marry? You know, Carl, I'll say this. I can't explain why some people want what they want. You know what I mean? I'll never understand. Like, civil union wasn't good enough. Now, what I had explained to me was civil union didn't allow you to take care of their affairs in the event of their death. There was something else going on with it, like insurance you were able to put them on your insurance, but you weren't able to do something. There was one small element that marriage allowed you to do that civil union didn't allow you to do. It was small to us.
You wasn't allowed to put them on your health insurance, sir.
Then what was the point? I thought that was the whole point.
No, they had to be married to be on your health insurance.
Okay, well, whatever it was, if that was it, so be it. But
I think that's what it was.
That's why they wanted to be married. But I mean, if you really, I don't know how old you are, Carl, but they've been trying to be married since the 70s, probably the 60s. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I didn't even know that you couldn't do it until but it was allowed in certain states and not in other states until it became, they wanted it to be a federal law or a federal, what would you call it? Basically, they wanted it to not be restricted anywhere. Cheryl Halsey was good, and my man Jason Sloan is in the house. My brother Jay Sloan says a cult can definitely exist without a living charismatic leader. A cult without a living charismatic leader. Oh, yeah. That would explain L. Ron Hubbard. That would explain
L. Ron Hubbard. But you do know, even though he's not the leader, he's very charismatic. I don't know that word. Tom Cruise. Because Tom Cruise is a Scientologist.
But he's not the leader.
No, he's not the leader, but he I'll put him as an honorary leader. Because people look at when you talk about Scientology, you bring up Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
and now when you talk about people leaving Scientology, you bring up Leah Remini, the one that was on King of Queens.
Okay.
So So I mean, and she said that it's ran like a cult.
Well, I think we've probably all heard stories about Scientology. That shit is on some Illuminati shit. You know, the sacrificing of the kids. We've all heard all of those crazy ass stories. How come all cults gotta have some sacrificing of the kids? Why kids gotta always get fucked up in cults?
Mm-hmm.
They can't have like an adult cult. Like, listen, man, we ain't gonna fuck with no kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order for it to be a cult, it seemed like they need to just start writing that in. And you look, it ain't a cult if you don't do nothing with the kids. You know what I mean? If kids are safe, it ain't no cult. You look at David Koresh. You know what I mean? They was doing some shit with the kids. It was definitely some sexual things going on, not just with the kids, but you know, he had all the wives and all of that shit. It's probably safe to say that in any cult, either the leader is fucking all the women or the men. Some shit like that, or the kids. He using his dick for some kind of illicit purposes. I think it's safe to say that.
In the name of Jesus.
Hold on, Jason Sloan says the biggest problem with civil unions was that the rights of those unions bestowed varied state to state and weren't honored everywhere, right? And weren't honored at all institutions, insurance companies, etc. Okay, all right. So we have that established. Kim's Whims was good. Strawberry Ice was good. Oh, Strawberry Ice says Jesus is not God. Okay. All right. Gavin says you can be kicked out of Catholics. They have a charismatic leader, and let's not talk about kids. Okay. All right. You know, I'm not going to argue against that with the Catholic Church, but can you really be kicked out of the Catholic Church? Like, what do you have to do to be kicked out? Just on some real shit. What do you have to do to get kicked out of the Catholic Church? Don't tell me that you gay. That ain't gonna get you kicked out. Don't tell me that you molested some kids. That ain't gonna get you. That might make you a cardinal, a bishop, at the very least, a priest. Don't say murderers and all of that, because all of those Italian gangsters was what religion?
Religion.
And when they used to feel guilt and they go to and when they used to go to confession, and I ain't even talking about the modern American Italian gangsters. I'm talking about way back, because them Italians been on some. No. I'm talking about in the 13th and 14th centuries, going all the way. They've been corrupt since forever, way before they got to America. So that's back in the days when they used to pay the priest in order to pray for them. Like, they used to believe that the priest had a direct line to God, and you would pay the priest for accepting your sins, and then you was all right. Like, it was like your slate was wiped clean. That's how corrupt. That's how corrupt the Catholics used to be. So I'm like, what does it take for you to get kicked out of the? What can you do to get kicked out of the Catholic Church that money won't buy you back in? It ain't raping, pillaging, or murdering. That's for sure.
No. None of that.
So
that's pretty much the same thing with Christianity.
Well, with Christianity, in order to be saved, you have to profess that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. So if you don't do that, you can get kicked out. Plus, you're going to hell. So there's that.
I'm not laughing at it.
There's that. There's a little fire and brimstone, lake of fire. The burning eternally. There's that. But you can kill, rape, pillage, deceive, lie, steal. What other bad stuff is there out there?
But what you just said up here and said, the same thing you said about being a Catholic is the same thing.
Covet thy neighbor's ass. You can break all 10 commandments, but before you die, you profess that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and you are saved and you good.
And you do have to ask him to forgive you for your sin.
He gonna do it. He said, no matter what, I'm gonna do it. So
that doesn't mean you ain't going to hell.
Well, it depends on what church you go to, because it does. See, the churches I've been to, they said is if you are saved, then you will have everlasting life in heaven, no matter what you've done. There is no sin that's greater than the other. So whether you lie or whether you just thought about your third grade teacher, being naked, it's the same sin. But whether you kill somebody, rape somebody, or just feel on Keisha titties, same sin, nigga. You ain't getting out of this shit.
Whether you kill somebody or thought about killing somebody, same sin.
Look, give me Keisha titties. I'm a sin for a while.
Why you want Keisha titties?
Oh, Keisha, I'm all alone. Hold on.
Why you ear filling titties?
That's Keisha, baby. You know what I mean? Smell my hand. It's my joint right there. You know what I mean? Respect that. So yeah, cult-like behavior. Yo, y'all, please hit that like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752. I got my man Troy Diesel on the line, and we are talking about cult-like behavior and idol worship. Now, we haven't really gotten to the idol worship part, but in a way, we have mentioned a few figures that may fall under the umbrella of idol worship. Idol worship, but the thing is, when we start talking about idol worship, man, how far can we go? Because what I wanted to, we got stuck a little bit on the Scientology thing. We got stuck a little bit on the MAGA thing. We got snagged a little bit on the Catholic Church, and that's cool. But I really wanted to open this up a little bit and ask if there is cult-like behavior in some of the more popular realms of pop culture that we may not have ever really thought about. Like, is the Beehive a cult? Is the Beehive with Beyonce? Because I've seen people defend Beyonce to the point of stop speaking to people, disassociating with people, like on some old, just because you don't agree that she should have had the #1 song or she shouldn't have won a Grammy. Like, yeah, hold on, don't be hating on B. Everybody always be hating on B. How you gonna hate on B? Ain't nobody better than B. Ain't nobody better than B. You just mad because you ain't B. And I'm like, are you happy because you are B? Are you B?
That's almost similar to the Swifties.
Well, I don't know. I don't know which one is stronger.
Oh, shit.
Which one is stronger? Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know no Swifties. But I know some Beehive. I know some bees. Zzz, zzz, zzz.
I know some bees. Take away the rest of the... I don't need the hive and the bee eating. I just know some bees.
What up, Joe Nell? What's good? Kim Swim says some consider fraternities and sororities cult-like and idol worshiping. Only if they black fraternities and sororities. But I wouldn't say that any of the black fraternities or sororities, I wouldn't say that they were cults. But they're, for some people are so invested in them way after college, in the black fraternities, you are a frat for life. You a brother or sister for life. So I get it. And you have to think that we needed that because our journey didn't end after college. It really just started because of all of the discrimination and all of that. So our fellowshipping, our our networking. Yeah,
in the bonds that we needed.
Yeah, we
You know,
had we had to rely on each other.
I'm sorry for interrupting. So go ahead and speak, my fault, bro.
No, I was just going. I was saying the same thing that you were saying. You know, you were just picking up our mind. You know, but we needed each other after college because we weren't able to just get our degrees and start working and everything be all right and falling in place at the times when having a degree would pretty much guarantee that you were going to live a decent life and have a good job. It didn't work out that way for us.
By using fraternities and sororities, people that were in them positions were able to pull their brothers and their sisters within the sorority and within the fraternities into positions. And that was mainly along with doing community work and stuff like that. So once you got put in positions within your fraternity and sorority, and once you go out there and you start looking for jobs, you might bump into somebody that might be a Q or a Kappa or an AKA. You understand what I'm saying? So all them nucleuses that you have within the fraternity sorority, especially in the HBCU ones, pulled you up.
Are you a member? Are you a member of fraternity? Are you frat?
Well, I did go out to be a Kappa.
Okay.
I did go out to be a Kappa. My brother's a Kappa.
Oh, okay.
My brother's a Kappa. You know. So I mean, at the end of the day, I understand the rituals and the things that you got to go through to, go through all that.
Okay. I just want to go over the for those of y'all who weren't here in the beginning. I just want to go over the general definition of what a cult is, and y'all can make some determinations based on this definition. And of course, this isn't the only definition that you could probably find or even create, but this will give you a general idea of what the blueprint is that we're trying to follow to at least be able to identify one from the other or distinguish one from another or to disqualify one from another. All right. A cult is generally defined as a group or sect that exhibits excessive devotion to a person, object, or belief system, often characterized by a charismatic leader and a focus on unique or unorthodox beliefs. Cults often isolate members from mainstream society, employ manipulative psychological techniques, and may involve extreme practices or beliefs. So when you take that into consideration, a lot of clubs, organizations, or whatever may fall under that umbrella. So when we talk about the Beehive or Swifty or I saw somebody in the chat mention Rihanna. Rihanna doesn't have a following anywhere close to Beyonce. Not in music. Now, a lot of people like Rihanna, but if you think about it, she made her $1 billion off of those panties.
Well, yeah, off her clothing line,
yeah,
and also off of Puma, because she had a sneaker line too with Puma.
Yeah, bottom line is it wasn't music. B is still in the trenches. She's still rocking stages out there. So no disrespect to Rihanna. No disrespect to Rihanna, but I don't know of what would they call her, the R words. I don't know, the
Riri.
The Riri. I never heard of them. You know what I'm saying? Jonelle.
I know one thing, not to get off the subject, but ASAP Rocky is just enjoying himself.
Jonelle says no. I mean physically more beautiful. You think Rihanna is prettier than Beyonce? I'll take B. I'll take it.
I think B too. I mean, you're gonna have to put a bang in front of Rihanna's forehead.
I think Rihanna is pretty, but to be honest with you, I never really understood the whole obsession with I didn't get it.
Kim said Black Cuba Elder are like, a lot of people consider them a cult.
Who?
The Black Israelites.
Yeah, but the same thing with the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, I mean, and the thing is that Islam is a religion, but when you add the black,
The Nation of Islam was the
then it
organization.
becomes a cult. That's amazing, ain't it?
Well, because but they separated themselves. They had their own Bible. They had their own principles. You know, they weren't practicing the Orthodox Islam. They kept their members from knowing that the real Islam was overseas. They didn't tell them about the actual Quran and all that kind of stuff. I mean, when you really study how the Nation of Islam moved, they lied a lot. Just keeping it $1. They lied a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that was pretty much the downfall of Malcolm X. He found out the lie, and he was getting ready to switch that pitch up.
Well, he had already.
And they didn't want that.
No. No. Well, he found out when the girls when them MGT girls came and told him that they was all pregnant by Elijah Muhammad. That's what raised Malcolm's eyebrows. Like, hold the fuck up. You fucking all these young Johns in? Wait, you damn near picked my wife for me. I had to go to you to ask for permission to date and marry my wife.
I must put my seed in fertile soil.
It was fertilized.
He said in the movie. He said that in the movie.
Yeah, that's just so. Yeah, but the Hebrew Israelites. Who is the leader of the Hebrew Israelites?
That's a good question.
I have never been
but it
clear.
Might not be a leader. It might just be a movement.
Well, they talk about Yahweh. That's supposed to be God, but
I remember how y'all used to have churches around Philadelphia. We used to have churches around Philadelphia. I remember.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, I like the Black Israelites, but I just like the way that they like they are some Bible thumpers, boy. They be reading the shit out of that joint. Like they just.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I love the fact that they know about their Bible, but I love it even more. They ignorance on the street.
Yo, don't they be wilding?
They unapologetically ignorant.
They don't give a fuck. They love debating some Muslims. Like, yo, come on over here. Come on. Bring your Quran. Bring your Quran.
They would say the white man the devil. They would call everybody out their name.
Nobody's who they say they are when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites.
Nobody is immune from it. They gonna say what they gonna say. If you don't listen, fuck it.
Yo, Jason Slow life your Elijah Muhammad impersonation.
It's like when they be, I'm gonna be personally honest. When they be speaking the truth and they be saying some shit, I honestly think they be playing as dozens at times, man. Because they be saying some shit. I be like, what the fuck?
Wait, Kim asked a question. She said, by leader, do you mean who started it or who they honor? It can be one or the other, or it can be both. Yeah. Because like you take L. Ron Hubbard, he's no longer here, but they base everything that they do off of his, yeah. Same thing with the Nation of Islam with Elijah Muhammad and the mystery guide, W.D. Fard or yeah.
But there's other entities of the Muslim religion in America, isn't it? Because you have the fruits. You know what I'm saying? And that's two different entities. Am I correct on that?
No, the Fruit Islam and Nation of Islam are the same thing. The Fruit of Islam is the security force of the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
So but you have the 5%.
Yeah, 5%. Yeah, I meant to say that too.
Yeah. So So that's 5%. That's where I got my name, Sun 752.
I'll get ready to say it.
Yeah. So
that's where you fall underneath.
Well, Clarence 13X broke off from the Nation of Islam, and he's actually kicked out of the Nation of Islam. And then he started his own shit. But he no disrespect to the guy, no disrespect to the gods of the earth, but he was full of shit too. You know what I mean? Yo, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, have the 5%ers, have they exhibited cult-like behavior? I would say yes, and I would say no. They are so undisciplined. Back in the day, they had discipline. Back in the day, they had strong principles. And many of the old heads still do. But them new cats, they just a white pussy loving, excuse making, weed smoking. You know what I mean? Like they just they got they are wilding. Okay, so when we talk about idol worship, if we ask about the Beehive or the Swifties or any of those other celebrity following type of things, you also talking about idol worship at the same time. You know, when you put somebody on a pedestal or believe that they are better than you, better than most other people, more privileged, should garner more favor than or more privileges than you or anybody else because they are who they are. I mean, anybody who tries to say that many people aren't idol worshiping Donald Trump, I don't know. Like, give me a fucking break, man. Give me a fucking break. People are convincing themselves out here that he is a religious man. He's a spirit. I've heard people say it. He's a spiritual, he's a godly man. I'm like, you mean God awful? What the fuck are you talking about? What has he done? What has he done to make you think that he's like, you got real spiritual leaders out here. And you talk about he's a godly man? Him? The man who says that he lives by the Bible, but when you ask him what book of the Bible is his favorite, and he's like, oh, nah, you know, yeah. Oh, shit.
All books of the Bible I love.
He didn't even say that. He didn't even say that. He said, you know, I don't like to get into it. You know what I mean? It's, fuck you mean? What book of which one do you like? What story has touched you? You know what I mean?
You can say Genesis. Why not?
Shit is fucking crazy.
Is it Matthew? Thank you. So many books.
Shit is crazy. All right. Oh shit. Yeah. Hold on. Jason Slow said, Sun 752. Yo, we need to talk about Wallace Fard Muhammad. I know some stuff. I mean, talk privately because y'all niggas not getting me killed. Though. Listen, I feel you. Yo, I remember I came across this Facebook group. Mad years ago, and it was called Farrakhan is gay or some shit like that. I tried to join the group. They was vetting motherfuckers hard as shit. You know what I mean? I think they not only rejected me, I think they blocked me. I couldn't even look that shit up no more. So evidently, only way you could get in is if you was probably invited, you know? Like, I'm like, well, why would y'all put it on Facebook? You gonna let a publicly traded platform where they get all y'all information and shit, like niggas. But
wasn't that the one who family got murdered by the Black Mafia?
I don't know, but there have been rumors for a long time that, you know, Farrakhan wasn't all the way on the level financially, socially, and sexually. Now, One of the things about a cult is you're always going to stand by that. You're always going to stand by that leader. You're always going to protect that leader. You're always going to make excuses for that leader. You're always going to make concessions for that leader. And you don't have to look too far to see them doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
yeah.
I think some sections of mega churches are like cult like churches, cult like atmospheres, like the Joel Osteens and the T.D. Jakes. And what's the other one? The one Creflo, whatever, Creflo Dollar.
Creflo Dollar.
I think the Creflo Dollar. Yeah, I think that some of the I just feel like, you sit back and you hear them talk and you see how the worshipers at the church react to them. I just see the the way they put themselves up there.
Well,
my mom used to look at me. I mean, even Jimmy Swagger.
They what are they calling that now? Prosperity, religion, not religion, prosperity pulpit, prosperity. It's something. The first word is prosperity, and basically it's centered around if you do the right things, you pray for the right things or whatever, then God is going to bless you with prosperity. In other words, so instead of it being harder for a rich man to make it to heaven,
prosperity
prosperity profits. No, that's not the word. That's not prosperity preaching. Close.
Prosperity Christianity.
Close.
Profits.
No, it was prosperity. That's the first word. And it was pretty much the way, it was pretty much the foundation of whatever platform the church was running on. So they preached the prosperity, not doctrine but basically it was centered around them getting money for themselves and for you if you gave enough or if you prayed enough or if God loved you enough, you know what I mean? So instead of it being harder for a rich man to make it into heaven than it is to find a needle in the haystack, it was like, nah, God loves you. You know what I mean? You can pray for money and he'll give it to you if you are a good person. If you follow his lead, which, but you have to think, mega churches, they about that money. You see money everywhere in the church. How do you think this compound got here? So Kim was talking about when she thinks about a cult, she's thinking more like David Koresh. We mentioned him, or Jim Jones. We mentioned him. She said a couple of other cats.
We could all about Charles Manson. She mentioned him.
Oh yeah, she mentioned him. Yeah. Now the thing about Charles Manson, that shit died out real fast because once they got captured and he got locked up or whatever, his movement didn't continue after he got locked up. But you take somebody like the Nawabians, you know what I'm saying?
But his movement didn't continue, but his legacy lived on.
Yeah.
Not through his legacy lived on. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. If you take Charles Manson, right, I would think the modern day Charles Manson will be that guy that killed that United Healthcare CEO, because they put him on a pedestal just like they put Charles Manson on a pedestal. He hasn't even been on trial yet.
In cults,
yes.
In cults, they always put their leaders on a pedestal.
Yeah.
They always make it, and they will always cover up his mistakes. You know what I mean? And they will never.
And that's what I said to you earlier. they accept the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't sit back and hold him accountable. There's nothing to hold accountable because he's perfect. And they'll defend him no matter what he does wrong. I mean, shit, look, we're not going back to Trump, but just look at it. As soon as he says something wrong and you say something to somebody that's MAGA or Trump, that's with Trump, they say, oh, he wasn't saying it like that. He didn't mean it that way.
Same thing they did with same thing they do with fucking Kanye West. Same thing they did with Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, yo,
like I even defend Biggie.
Yeah, but you're not. But I didn't hear you. Biggie said what the fuck he said. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. What he said.
Yeah, well, he said that gay shit, and he going to have to stand on it, lay on it, whatever it is. He said the gay shit, but at least. I mean, ain't nothing you can do about it. The shit was fucking. It was suspect all the way. But
what I said, I tried to explain it. I said that's some pimp shit. What that he would say.
No, the fuck, a pimp would. But anyway, so a pimp wouldn't have to say no shit like that. But the thing about it is, Biggie didn't give you cause to try to reinterpret what he was saying. Mm-hmm. Tupac, I've heard people say Tupac didn't start the East Coast versus the West Coast battle. The media did that. I'm like, oh, did they now? So they went and got him out of jail, took him over to the West Coast, and told him to say fuck the East Coast. They said that, or was that Tupac who said that? Like, people try to. I'm like, I was there. I was alive. I watched this bullshit materialize.
You do know he was living at the time.
Tupac started that East Coast, West Coast shit. Tupac started that East Coast, West Coast shit. Now, the East Coast and the West Coast was already heated with each other because the West Coast was getting money. They, with Dre and Snoop and all of them, they was doing their thing and all of that. So there was already healthy competition. They wasn't trying to kill each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They wasn't creating an atmosphere where you couldn't go to the West, where East Coast rappers couldn't go to the West Coast and kick it and perform and be safe. Same thing with the East Coast. I mean, with the West Coast coming to the East. Shit, when Snoop came to Philly, this motherfucker charismatically did a whole tour of all the projects in Philly. Like, we gave a fuck about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this ain't New York. We don't live in all. We all live in the projects. But just so happens when he came through, that's when the projects still all had the buildings. But anyway, but still, Tupac did that shit. I mean, you gotta own what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? But people in his absence, because he's no longer with us, they changed around. They try to misinterpret or reinterpret all of the stuff that he says and all that shit.
And they want to put him as a leader, but he wasn't a leader because he followed behind Suge. The narrative that Suge put out there, he allowed him to twist his mind to do with the same shit that Suge was doing. You understand what I'm saying? So, you can't be a leader and follow a simpleton.
Well, the thing is, Tupac was already a propaganda expert. You got to understand that. He was primed and ready. Mm-hmm. He was willing to do the shit that Snoop and Dre and all of them wasn't willing to do. Nobody else wanted to create a situation where they couldn't travel, where they couldn't be safe, where they couldn't network, where they couldn't, go see their people, where they couldn't be all right. Tupac was willing to do it, and he's from the East Coast. And speaking of that, how many arguments have I gotten into with people when they trying to tell me, well, where you feel more comfortable is your home? I was like, that can be your home, but it can't be where you came from. Well, it don't matter where you from. It matters where you at. I'm like, well, he wasn't at there till 17 years old. And he died at 25. How much at could he got locked up on the East Coast because he went back to the East Coast. And he was living back on the East Coast where he was from. But
he was born and raised in Baltimore first.
No, he was born and raised he spent the majority of his life in Harlem. 13 years.
No, he was born and raised in Harlem, and then he moved to Baltimore.
He was only in Baltimore for 4 years.
And then he moved all the way out to Oakland?
At 17 years old.
Yeah.
So he moved back to the East Coast.
Did that interview with him. I ain't seen no thugness. I ain't seen no thug life in him when they did that interview.
when you listen to his third album, what was it called? Me Against the World. When you listen to Me Against the World, he is totally from New York on that album. The very next album, All Eyes on Me, he's from the West Coast. So that lets you know he will follow anybody who supported him. Wherever people loved him, that's where he was from, on some chameleon shit. I mean, and they to this day, people still letting him get away with that shit. They letting him claim the West Coast. I'm like, what? What?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you think?
To live and die in LA.
Listen, Ice-T said that. He's like, yo, man, that shit that he was doing. First of all, you ain't. He was like, Ice-T said, the gang culture in LA ain't like it is up in Oakland. In Oakland, they got little baby gangs. He was like, in LA is the gang that's like the mecca of gangs. And it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do. Up in Oakland, Bay Area, they got other shit to do. Like, they got jobs and shit. They go to school and, you know what I mean? They get a pop. Like, it ain't all about that gang shit. So, from Tupac moving to the Oakland area and then coming down to LA and, getting all friendly with the Bloods. Like, yo, dude, you a little old to be starting to be a G. Like, you played a gangster. You're an actor. And a good one. But you're not a G. And unfortunately, your demise pretty much cemented that. But it is what it is. All right. Wait, hold on. Yandi says, it's not where you're from. And if you found home in another... Listen, when you start talking that gangster shit, it is about where you from. It is. You can't... Like even if you are just... I'm from Germantown. That's where I'm from. If I was a hustler, I can't go to West Philly and sell drugs. I can't do that. I can't go to West Oak Lane and sell drugs. I can't go to North Philly and sell drugs. South Philly, Southwest. I can't go nowhere else and get it popping except my neighborhood. And I might have to get stamped to do it there. So it is about... I might have to be stamped in order to do it there. Because whoever is the boss in my neighborhood, I can't just overstep his bounds and start selling shit without thinking somebody ain't gonna come knock on my door or tap on my organs with a bullet. You know what I mean? So when as a regular citizen, yeah, it might not be about where I'm from. I can move to LA. I can move to the Bay Area. I can move down south. I can move to the Midwest. I can move up north. I can move up. I can go up to Boston, all the way to Maine, or down to Miami and South Beach, and I can go there and make that my home. Yes, but I was born and raised in Philly. Regardless, and I don't see the need to try to change where you from. You don't have to be from a place in order for a place to be your home. But when you start talking about hip hop, it has a lot to do with where you from, because your style, your swag is coming from wherever you originated. Tupac's original name was MC New York. Why would he call himself that? His name was MC New York. Why would anybody name themselves MC New York? Anyway, so yeah, it does matter where you're from. I don't see any reason to try to change where you're from. Why? Like, you're a grown man. Be from where you're from. Be where you are now. Shoot, politicians move from state to state and become governors and shit like that. Joe Biden ain't from Delaware. He was from Scranton, Pennsylvania. He became the governor of Delaware. He don't have to be from Delaware. And guess what? He's from Delaware and he represents Philly. You know what I'm saying? So, there's still you can have your ties and your alliances and all of that, but I just consider people who follow Tupac to be a little cultish. I've heard them, call him all kinds of prophet, and you would think that he was smarter than fucking Steve. What's the dude name in the wheelchair, like super smart?
I know you're talking about from England.
Yeah, is Steve something? Stephen Hawking. Yeah. Thank you, Stephen Hawking. Like, you would think that Tupac was smarter than Stephen Hawking. I'm like,
his life. I guess that you also got to remember that they're
idol worship.
He's carrying on the name of his mother and his father because they were Black Panthers. So anytime he said anything out of his mouth that was somewhat, political, they took that thing and they ran with it.
Listen, one thing is for sure. I never used to understand why they used to say ignorance is bliss, but I get it. The less you know, the better you feel about shit, because you never have to. When you don't know shit, you never have to get confronted with the truth. And the less you know, the more likely that you are to reject the truth and not to expand your universe. So I think the dumber you are, the easier it is to idol worship. And many people become products of that. Tupac, Kanye West. You can't tell the true Kanye West people shit about Kanye. They be interpreting all this shit he say. Kanye.
I honestly think his reign is over. He put out an album, and that thing only sold that first week sold 5,000 copies.
That's okay. That's okay. He ain't known for making consistently good projects anyway. He's one good, one bad. He like Prince. He gonna make one joint that have you thinking like, yo, this motherfucker's the greatest ever. And the next joint, you're gonna be like, oh shit, this must have been the B-sides from the project before. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's too heady. He's gonna outthink himself. He's too busy doing dumb shit. Plus the motherfucker crazy. He crazy. And people like crazy people. They call it eccentric. They call it eclectic. It's motherfucking crazy, and people like crazy. But when you start trying to, when you're definitely idol worshiping, when you try to reinterpret craziness to try to make it seem like this is the master plan, like tariffs.
Mm-hmm. No. Just because he sucked his cousin's penis for 6 years straight doesn't mean he's gay.
Oh yeah, Kanye. Oh, now he want to be gay. Like that motherfucker do anything for a camera. Put a camera in front of his face. He will say anything you want him to. You know what I mean? Like, now you gay? I can't, man. I fucking can't. I can't with that bull. I can't with that bull. With your cousin, everybody under the bus. Get your ass under this bus. Get the fuck under there. Hold on, y'all gotta get this motherfucker. Get under there.
Start that engine up.
That motherfucker. I couldn't fit him up under the XH. I got him up under the Greyhound.
But you know the fucked up part? His cousin might have been at home with his wife eating dinner with his kids. He heard about this shit.
Oh man. Oh man.
Can you imagine you at home with your wife and kids? You never thought you forgot all about that shit. They say Kanye West, your cousin, he just come out talking about, yeah, my cousin, I used to suck his dick.
Like I guess I was kind of gay. I did some gay stuff, but you don't get the fuck out. Yo, turn the camera. Like there are certain people with this idol worship thing. There are certain people that all you gotta do is start ignoring them, and everything will be all right. They will go away. But too many ratings.
That's the thing that's bothersome to me, son. It's like this, right? It's like you give somebody 50 minutes of fame, and then society or social media extend it to the idol worship.
True.
Status. I mean, like let's think on it. Let's go to people. Charleston White. You gave him 15 minutes of fame, and society and social media extended it to idolism. You know what I mean? You gave the Hawk 2 girl. You gave her 15 minutes of fame, and now y'all extended to idol worshiping.
I mean, I don't think those are good. I don't think those are good examples.
No, it is good example because Charleston White, he's a millionaire from the shit that he does. He's a millionaire.
But
even the girl was I'm gonna give you another example. This girl was on Dr. Phil. What's her name? Bad Bunny or Bad Barbie, whatever girl. The one that said, "Catch Me Outside."
Okay. Oh, okay.
She then became a cult favorite, a rapper. And she claims that she didn't make what in maybe 2 months. She on OnlyFans alone, she's a millionaire from off of OnlyFans alone.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm just saying 15 society in this damn social media can put people on a pedestal that they shouldn't be on. They can take you to the highest of high, but when it drop you to the lowest of lows, that's it.
Anybody can get paid in showbiz. I get that part. But when I start talking about, or should I say, when we start talking about idol worship, I'm talking about things on a larger scale. Like that Tupac following is not going to die anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like even people, all right, the generation that would have really idol worship somebody like James Dean, they're pretty much burnt out, but he was another kind of guy, you know what I'm saying, that really had a following. I mean, he ain't really had that many hit movies and all that kind of shit.
What was the number one hit? The biggest movie he had, I forgot what it was.
Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah, that was the biggest movie he had.
Yeah.
Between him and Marilyn Monroe, their legacy still living.
Exactly. So, and people are still making them into something bigger than they really were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why couldn't she just be another hoe in Hollywood?
Mm-hmm.
What did she do? What Marilyn Monroe movies are you like, yo, every time I'm feeling down, man, I go watch me a Marilyn Monroe joint. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, what movie? What movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, she more.
I know about 7 Year Itch. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Okay, 7 Year Itch. Okay, she was definitely in that movie. I can't tell you nothing about the movie though. You know, I can tell you about whatever movie she was in, or I don't even know if it was a movie where she's standing on the vent and it blows up her dress and all that. I'm like,
that was 7 Year Itch.
Well, there you have it. There you fucking have it. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of actors in Hollywood get that cult-like following or whatever, and it's cool.
Like Tom Cruise has cult-like following. It's like a cult-like following. You know, George Clooney. You know, it's certain people that's been doing it for years. Denzel, you know, Denzel got a cult-like following.
I don't really look at their following as cult-like. I just think that they're popular actors. You know what I mean? Because they're not leading movements. You understand what I mean? Like, they're not telling people to do things.
Well, let's put it like this. Denzel is led a movement of great African American actors.
Okay.
Because there's such a movement from him being great inspired a bunch of other actors to be great. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that he has a cult following. Now the other ones, I really don't know about their cult following, because when people expect you to be a great actor, you know
what?
That's different. But
go ahead, man. Go ahead. Finish your thought. My bad. Go ahead.
No. Let me hear what you guys say.
I was going to say that maybe the problem is with me, because I think I'm looking at I think I look at a cult following as like somebody who hasn't really done anything that was all that great, but for some reason motherfuckers follow them to the ends of the earth. Like the Grateful Dead. I didn't really think they made good music, but them motherfuckers could tour for the rest of their lives. Like it ain't nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now you could say the same thing with the Rolling Stones, but I think that they are worthy of their following. You know, they actually they got the catalog for you. Like them. I mean, you ever listen to that Grateful Dead shit?
Oh, son, I used to work at the Spectrum. That's some of the most scariest shit you can. Their fans are some of the most scariest fans ever, bro.
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. So like, it ain't like these cats was selling millions and millions of records, but they fans are loyal as fuck, and there's something to it. They're following something that the rest of us mere mortals don't understand. We don't get it. You know what I mean? We haven't fallen for the tie-dye. So, you know, you could even say people who listen to this show consistently, you could say they're like a small cult, very, very small, but there's something that attracts them to this material. And the rest of the world wouldn't understand that shit. So, but I could be off base about this, because you don't have to be small or insignificant or not that talented in order to have a cult following, and definitely not to be idol worshipped. You know what I mean? But when I guess from my point of view, I'm thinking about somebody. I'm thinking about a lot of people who I would be like, they ain't really all of that, but goddamn, look at them. These motherfuckers hang on their every word. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think, you know, my opinion of cult following or idolizing, you know, when a person can lead you or can teach you something to make you better or guide you or put you on a level of where you want to be, that's a cult follower. I think that when you look at Denzel, you know what I mean? Every time you hear people talk about Denzel, they say he's the reason why I wanted to be a great actor. He's the pinnacle of where I need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, he crosses boundaries because it's not just African Americans, it's white Americans. Everybody says this. It's just like with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Okay.
You know, when you hear about their follow. These are legendary actors that people that they want to be. If you want to be considered the best, you're going to follow them and look at them. You're going to follow these three. Some of the, you know, like Denzel. I'm pretty sure Denzel follows Sidney Poitier. You know what I mean? He's seen some of this shit. He's seen some of old Bill Cosby. Your brother, though, you know, he's seen some of the old Bill Cosby shit, not just all comedy, but some of the serious shit he might have back in the day. He's seen some of James Earl Jones, Claudine, and stuff like that. So he worked great to get on that level. Same thing with Morgan Freeman. So all these actors, you know, you develop cult followings, but right now Denzel is on top of the mountain. If you made a Mount Rushmore of African American actors, he's number one right there.
Well, what for actors like Denzel and even Lawrence Fishburne, they are classically trained actors. They're not, you know what I mean? They ain't motherfuckers that just read a few lines and got a little bit better. These cats been, you know, these cats have worked in this industry. They've been trained by the best. They've worked alongside.
Because I'm just learning something from what Kim said, that a cult following can't teach you nothing. They can only do you harm.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
And that's the whole thing.
Now, I would say that so many cults are cloaked in scandal that I could understand that point of view. But I don't think that it has to be. Like I said, the people who follow this platform, I consider that to be a cult following. And you know that whoever listens to this show, and definitely anybody who gives a super chat, will have everlasting life. So it's like worth it. You know what I mean? Like if you a dude, you gonna get any pussy you want. And if you're a woman, you gonna find the man of your dreams.
I'm sorry, Kim, if I interpreted what you said the wrong way.
I mean, I just interpreted what she said. That's what she really meant. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. She meant whatever Kim say, whatever I say, that's what Kim meant. So everybody knows that. She talking about that's not what I said. That means that's what she said. You get it? So, me and Kim known each other so long that I can easily interpret her words and, think of shit that she about to say before she say it. So, I mean, so there's that. There's that. Jason Slow said, I want to start a cult for the money, but leadership is hard. While leadership is where all the fun is. It is the power of a cult leader, man. That shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? You get all the drugs, all of the sex. You know what I mean? You get the biggest piece of chicken. It's really the place to be.
So let me just get this right. Let me ask this question: was Diddy part of a cult? Was Diddy the leader of a cult?
I don't think that he had a cult following. I think that he was just a dude with a lot of talent, a lot of money, a lot of ideas, and he used his muscle. You know what I mean? Like anybody can buy their way to being. You can buy your way to having access. money is the access in and of itself. That's not as impressive as somebody who uses their talent. You know, did he use a good dancer, backup dancer, whatever he was all the way back in the day, Heavy D in the, you know, early Uptown days, and Finesses and Quiz and all. But because of his ideas, that got him where he was. But who really followed Diddy? I'm not saying that nobody did, but it ain't hard for you to find who followed Pop. It ain't hard for you to find out who followed Biggie. But how many people have copped out or admitted to following Diddy? I mean, I don't think I've known anybody that was like, yo, man, Puffy is all that. I've never heard nobody say that shit. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. You know, he was the man behind the scenes that was in front of the camera. It's kind of weird. He still has sold more records on his label, and he don't write a rhyme and ain't got no business saying any of them. His album sold more than Biggie's. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. So now I don't know if he has a cult file. I've never heard anybody say, I don't know any, you know, diehard Diddy fans. I don't know him. Now he knows how to generate a crowd. He definitely knows how to get people to get involved and to do whatever he wants some people to do. But I don't.
Yeah, we know that. We know that even more now.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, behind closed doors, he must have a lot of fans behind closed doors. But who do you know that has been like, yo, Puffy is my dude, like he the greatest? I've never heard nobody talk like that.
Here my top 5 bars.
Kim says Diddy had the bag. That's it. I mean, that really sounds. Normally, I wouldn't reduce anybody to that, but that's really kind of how it went. Audemars says all in the videos, all on the records. Come over to Death Row. so the label can get disbanded and you get dropped. Good going. But yeah. This cult following thing, this idol worship thing. Before we get up out of here, let's get a little bit more focused. Let's see. In any order, let's see. Y'all in the chat, man. If y'all could do this, in your opinion, and this can be totally opinion based. Who would you say was the top 5 most idol worshipped figures ever? And I don't care who you name. You can go all the way from Jesus to Kanye. However you want to do it. You can go from Jesus to Yeezy. What would y'all say was the top 5 most idol worshipped cult leaders, whatever you want to call it, of all time? And I'm going to start with Jesus. Because at the end of the day, whether you consider him to be God or not, it definitely is idol worship. Number 2, I'm going to say Santa Claus. Don't get mad because you ain't think of it first, Troy. Don't get mad. So I'm gonna say Santa Claus, and then I'm gonna say the Pope, and then I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna go wild card, and I'm gonna say Michael Jackson. and then Elvis.
Okay, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Jesus.
Okay.
I'm gonna say my elders that brought me up. But they're my idols and I worship them. I'm gonna say my middle brother. Because without him, I'm not the person I am.
So you're gonna put your wow. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Michael Jackson. Yeah, I say Michael.
Okay.
And,
were you up to 3?
Well, yeah, 3. I say who else? Martin Luther King. No, and Malcolm X. Yeah.
Okay. Buana said Muhammad. The only reason I didn't put Muhammad in there because I was already three religious figures in. So, because Santa Claus is actually a religious figure. So, you know what I mean? But but one thing is for sure, just like Wu-Tang, Santa is for the children. Santa's for the children. You know what I mean? Like, like Beyonce cool and all of that, but Santa's for the children. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. All right. Okay. All right. So Buana said Pope John Paul, Jesus, Muhammad, the Buddha, and Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam.
You
God damn. I wasn't ready for that shit. I was not ready for that shit. Oh,
that's
man.
almost shocking to Santa Claus.
I was saying to knock my socks off. He fucked me all up with that shit. That Oprah and Beyonce, don't forget them. You know what? I don't even think Oprah that popular no more.
Kim said Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Elvis, MJ, and Satan as an honorary mention.
Wow. All right. Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Elvis, MJ, and Satan. Okay. All right. Not a bad list. Y'all got any more? Going once, going twice. All right, we gonna let's do these. Let's do this. The poll. We got 32 votes on the poll. Let's see. Is MAGA a cult? 44% says yes, and Trump is David Koresh. All right. 28% said that no, only a liberal would ask that. Okay. And 16% says no, but it has similarities. And 12% says yes, and they are glad to be a part of it. All right. Not bad. I'm glad that this show didn't turn into a total, like I said, man, I'm burnt out with this politics shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to do a whole show on that. And
Taylor just got a whole variety of people. What's in it? Holly Selassie and Bob Marley, if you roster.
Shit. How about Harry Krishnas?
Jehovah Witnesses.
But
I mean, not even bring that up about being a cult.
Well, you talking about you talking about idol worship. I mean, you forgetting about the Easter Bunny, the Easter Beagle. You know what I mean?
Valentine's Day.
And
Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. That's enough idol worshiping right there and alone.
The Great Pumpkin. Don't front on the Great Pumpkin. You know what I mean? For all my sincere pumpkin patches out there, y'all know what it is. You know what I mean? When y'all get
definitely.
When you get
Great Pumpkin is shit.
Yes, the Great Pumpkin.
Shit.
All right.
Especially March 13th, 1970. Great day to idol.
There you go. You go campaign. You a campaign to be idol worship. Worship me. Worship me.
March 13, 1970. You look that date up, you can find out who to worship on that day.
All right. Strawberry Ice says all religions teach kindness and peace. Unfortunately, not all of them do that. That most of them should, but not all religions actually teach that. Yeah. But that's another story for another day. We're gonna be all right. Troy, it's 4 a.m. out here, 4:06 to be exact. I gotta let you go. We all up out of here. Appreciate you once again, my brother.
Pleasure, man.
One love, maybe even two.
All day, bro. Much love, man.
All right, I'll holler at you tomorrow or later on in the day.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. I want to thank y'all all in advance for coming through, representing for the God. Appreciate it. All right, make sure y'all hit the like button though. We only got 18 likes up here. I think we can do better than that. I believe we can. We are stronger than that. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles schedule for 2025. That shit's brutal. That shit is brutal. But well, you know, we Super Bowl champs, man. We just gonna have to, you know, show the world how we move through this gauntlet. All right, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious May 14th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, my girl Ada Don Martin. She calls herself Ada now. Happy birthday to you and Selena Bush. Happy birthday and Vernice McFarland. And also my girl Crystal K-Sign Gant. Happy birthday to you. And she's raising money for Dementia Society Incorporated. And also Will Winston III and George Cummings. Tiana Moore. Andy Autry. Hermaine Smith. Sandra Wickerson. Lisa Johnson, Desire Love, Laura Cook, Latifah Davis, and last but not least, Camille McIntyre, no relation. But what up, guys? What's good? I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 14th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, idol worship, think of somebody's God. Your life is hard enough without you acting odd. You got a leader that's willing to beat a dollar out of your ass and take all your cash fast. It might even take your wife, take your life. You want some cyanide, Kool-Aid lace. Yo, you taking it tonight, and it's your last night right here on earth. And I don't want to speak bad on the coast, but what it's worth. Yo, you got to listen to your own mind and find the God within yourself and increase your health and your wealth if that's really important, but you don't want to be out there shooting and snorting. Yo, a lot of leaders be on drugs, and that's part of the reason why they be out here acting bugged. And I say that it's time for us to get it together. We, each and every person right here is still rehearsing. And it gets worse when you don't even think for your own body. How you going to lead somebody? You got your own family, kids looking up to you. So what the hell you follow behind the next man with luck and two? Yo, I'm not ducking you when I see you. I ain't going to reach up in my pocket and give another locket or put myself on the docket to be heard. And you trying to kick me out of your coat? Well, that's absurd. I ain't want to be in that shit anyway. And I ain't going to try to recruit no members that's any day. Well, sometimes things hit you because you're in a dark place in your world and you ain't even got a girl or even a brother that will listen to your struggles. I understand how that shit go. And I was bugging. Was the time my life was kind of depressed, was thinking about sniffing some coke to relieve the stress. Glad I didn't feed onto the monster, the devil. I'm still out here, yo, trying to be a rebel, but only rebelling against the negative force. Cause I'm trying to stay positive because I gotta live. I put myself first and everybody else comes after that. I feel not one bad to bat is like the thing that hits the ball, and we gonna try to make a home run, and I'm gonna get with all y'all and stand tall. Cause I got 10 toes down, and the next day 365 be around. And I'ma see y'all 360 degrees. Hope y'all be home here tomorrow here with me. Like y'all was here tonight. We tried to get it right. We had a couple of disagreements, but we ain't have to fight. And it's another night and it's another day. And I appreciate y'all coming through, giving me a favor. Let me have my way. Let me talk to y'all standing right in front of the cam. I say whole lot of shit to make you say, damn, he's kind of off base. But he got a kind face. I think he means well, got a story to tell. Well, I'ma be back, yo, and I'ma hit you back just like we on the other line. We gonna really find another way to shine, just like the big ball that's heated, got that fire until I expire. My name is Omar McIntyre. That's my government. But y'all still went to the places my brother went. But I ain't following him all the way to hell. Be up in heaven, air conditioning. Yo, you can tell. And I'm trying to live my life right. If I can't live my life right, yeah, put up a fight. I'm trying to be with y'all suck ass niggas run around here acting like gangsters and pulling triggers and taking out niggas because y'all said they wasn't on the team. I ain't got that shit. Used to use like the Afro Sheen. I used to brush with Gleam. This old school shit is Throwback Thursday right now. Yo, you go and get with it. You know, I was like to say peace to all y'all. Maritza Allberg and Cheryl Hudson. You know how it go. All right, y'all. Let's get the fuck on about it. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night with another Daily Go Getterism show. And we're going to be talking about some fly shit tomorrow. So I appreciate y'all come on through. Let's have a good time. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. So hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Yo, it's 4:00 in the morning. It's a little after that. So it's either time to get up and go to work or take your ass to bed. Get some rest, man. You know what I mean? Things are always better when you get a little rest. I'm preaching to the choir and I'm really talking to myself at the same time. So, yo, y'all be easy. Peace.